So today we're going to learn how to make a snowman, and this is a great way to learn about the different shapes and tools and planes and lines. So first thing, we're going to set up our document. So you should be pretty good at this by now. Go to Create New. Let's do a letter size and keep it vertical. And let's name it Snowman. And let's say this is for printing. So we're going to do it in CMYK. We don't need any bleed or margins. Okay, so now we hit create. And one thing that's fun to do is if you want to have rulers on the side, you can hit Command R and your little rulers appear so you see what size you're working. So time to make the snowman. So let's start off with a snowball. So let's go over here to our shape tools and let's get the ellipse tool and we're going to make a circle. So remember, if we just do that, it's an ellipse. We want it to be round, so let's put our finger on Shift and drag, and it's a perfectly round circle. But also another option, if you have your finger on Shift and Option, and then you drag, it grows out from the middle. So that's kind of fun to do sometimes. So it is a, well, I guess it's appropriate for snow. It's a white ball with a black outline. But I think I want to make it light blue. We don't want it to be white. So let's go over here to our color palette and see right now, if you look over here, this shows you that we're dealing with a fill. So let's click on the stroke so we can deal with the stroke. And I wanted to make it go away. I want there to be no outline. So what we can do is we can do it a couple ways, and almost everything in Illustrator you can do a couple ways. So we can either click this and make it smaller. This is the stroke width. Again, this makes it bigger or smaller. Or you can just kind of go right here and see the white box with the red line through it. That means no fill. So you can either get there by shrinking the stroke till it goes away, or just hit no stroke to begin with. Now let's deal with the color of the fill. And you click on that, and right here are the options. It's almost like a box of crayons. Okay, you can use this color, you can use that color. But as creative people, we like to mix our own colors. But this is a good way to start. Let's see. Do we want a blood red snowman? I don't think so. Do we want a blue? How about a light blue? That looks nice, but you know, it's not quite light enough. So I'm going to double click right here, and I'm going to get nothing. So I'm going to double click right here, and I'm going to get this is what I want, the color pickle. Not the color pickle, the color picker. And let's move this little ball around. Now this, I use this in Photoshop a lot, and this is my preferred method of mixing colors. I kind of have a bias against Adobe telling me what colors it wants me to use. I like to make them myself. And when you slide this bar up and down, it lets you know the hue. See, and once you get a hue you like, and this actually shows you the original color you're working with. So that brings me right back to where I started. And go this way, it gets more less intense, more intense. I would say actually more grayer, more pure. Up here is like the color at its purest. Right here you add white to it. Go down, you add gray to it. And I kind of don't like Photoshop adding gray to my colors. Or I should say Adobe. So anyway, that's a nice light blue. And we have a lovely, lovely little snowman head. And let's say we had it off center like that, and we wanted to get it aligned in the middle. So remember the align tool? So, oh, I had it open from before, so just pretend it's not open. And let's say I want to align these things. So I go Window, Align. There we go. And what do I want to align it to? That symbol is the artboard. I want to align it, so that's good. So let's see, I want to get this right in the middle of the artboard. Again, if I did this, it goes right down the center line. If I do this, it lines up on the right side. This lines up on the left side. This is in the middle. Now these three guys over here, if you line to the top, you go there. Line it with the bottom, you go there. if you want to align it with the middle of the paper, you go there. But I don't really, I want it in the center of the paper vertically, but I don't care about horizontally. I'm not sure if I'm using horizontal and vertical right, but I want it to be lined up with this middle line. I don't want it to be lined up with this line. So I'm just gonna click right there. Great, our snowball is done. Now I'm still in selection tool. Do I want to make it smaller? Oh no, I made it small. It might not be in the center anymore, so I do that. There we go. And I'm looking at that color. You know, maybe I want that a little bit lighter. I do that. That is good. Now it's a snowman, so we need 3 of these balls. So we can either go to our ellipse tool and make 2 more balls, or we can just copy. So I think it's smart just to copy. So remember, we put our selection tool on the snowball, put our finger on Option, or whatever the PC equivalent is of that. Alt maybe, I don't know, I should know that. Again, if you're a PC person, hopefully you know what Option translates to. So, okay, so I put my finger on Option, and we get this symbol. That's the double arrow. That means you're gonna copy. So I'm gonna copy that ball down there. And now it looks okay. I think I want that to be a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna hold my finger down and shift so the proportions stay the same. And I'm gonna, I'll make it a little bigger, lovely. Now I'm gonna make another copy. So I'm gonna put my finger on Option, and I'm gonna drag that, and I have a 3rd ball. And let's make that a little bit bigger. So I'll put my finger on Shift, and okay. Now I'm gonna move the ball around, and what I'm gonna do is, you know, the little arrows on the lower right of your keyboard, push it up, push down, left, right, left, right. Okay, let's have it go up to there. And that's good. Now, one thing you may notice is that the 3 balls, I'm going to select all 3 now. They're a little bit askew. If I wanted them to be all lined up nice and proper, I would do that. But you know what? I'm going to hit Command Z because I like a little bit of things being off-centered. Okay, now it is time for a hat. And you know what? I realized that I did not leave enough room for the hat. So luckily, all these 3 balls are selected together, so I can just hit my down arrow. Oops, I thought I could. Hit my down arrow and move them down. And since they're all 3 selected, I can change them together. So I'm going to put my finger on Shift and make them smaller, just so I have room for a hat. Okay, that's good. Hit Return to set that. What? That's okay. Yep, fine. So now I get my direct selection tool, and I click away to, now I'm going to make a hat. So let us go to our little tool thing here, and instead of ellipse, I want a rectangle. So I'm going to use a rectangle. I still don't want a I still don't want an outline, but I don't want a light blue. So let me think, what color do I want to use for the hat? Could be black, or maybe I want really, really dark brown. So I slide this down, and I get to the warm orangey color, and maybe a purple. I like a purplish kind of a dark. So yeah. Now I'll make it darker and more neutral. Okay, yeah, I like that. I like more than that, better than straight black. So now I'm going to make the base of the hat a long skinny rectangle. And you know, if my finger was on Shift, this would be a perfect square, but it isn't, so I can make it as long and skinny as I want. That's the bottom of the hat. Now let me make the, what do you call this part of the hat? That looks good like that. What? Uh-oh. Okay. Now I'm going to make the top of the hat. So let me go back to my rectangle tool, and there again. So now we have the, what do you call that? I guess this is the brim. What's that? The little stovepipe top. But anyway, whatever it's called, they're not lined up right. So I'm gonna select both of these things and then go to my line tool. Now, right now I'm set to align to the artboard. That would put it right in the middle of the artboard. I'm not worried about it being aligned to the artboard. I would rather have it be aligned to align them to each other. So they're going to be aligned to the selection. Now, that gets them centered to each other. And let me, they kind of just moved both to get to the center. If you wanted to line up to one of them specifically, you could make that the key object. I clicked it, gave it an extra blue outline, and then I can align to that's now the key object. So oh yeah, it's clicked already. It knows that's what I wanted to do. So now if I do that, it's a subtle difference in this case, but it makes a difference another time. Now, okay, so now these two guys are together. Now, if I select them both, if I want to move both around, I have to select both. Da, 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 da. And if I forget to do that, if I just select one, oh no, it's not part of that. So I have to remember to select them both. Or what I could do is select them both and then group them together. And there's a couple different places to group things. Right here, quick actions is on the workspace. What do you call this? Palette. Anyway, click on group. Now they're together. Now, whenever you click any part of it, you move them both together. So you do not have to worry about clicking both. So let me put it on the head. And I'm going to make him a little jaunty snowman with a little bit of a tilt. Oh no, okay. Okay, I think that looks good. Click away to deselect. Okay, so now let's give him some eyes and buttons. So I am going to go back to my ellipse tool, and I'm going to make the, I'll work with straight black this time. Oh no, come on, I want it like that. That's what I want, but I want no. Okay, very good. So now I'm going to make little circles for the eyes. So fingers on shift. That's good. Now I'm going to go to my direct selection tool and put my thumb on option. So one eye there, one eye there. And I think I'll make these a little smaller. Oops, forgot my finger on shift. Put finger on shift to make it smaller. And then my thumb on option, bag there. Thumb option again, go there. Let me zoom in a little bit. So I'm going to put my thumb on command or control, and I'm going to hit the plus sign. That gets us a little closer. So that's good. We want to give we want it to look like coal though. So we want these little round circles of coal to have nice textures. So let's select them all. And I'm going to go to brushes. So I clicked on palette, and brushes is part of that. But if I didn't do that, you can always go window brushes, but I have it right here. And I want to bring a stroke back to it. So I got to, right now stroke is no stroke. So let's go back. Let me give it a nice, nope, that's kind of interesting, but I don't want a white stroke. I want it to be a black stroke. And I want it to be a black fill too. What are you doing there? Don't keep me agitated. I'm just going to do this. Just make it black. Okay, and now there are a lot of options here that you can use as brushes. And this one has a texture. The basic one is just a straight line, but right there's texture. So I click the texture. So now the outline has a texture, so the whole little coal piece of coal. Looks like it's got texture. Wouldn't do that to me. Okay, now I'm going to click away. I think I wanted to give it a shiny spot too now. So I'm going to go to my circle tool, or I should say ellipse tool. Let me hit Command plus. And I want to pick a color that's kind of like what a shiny spot would be on that coal. It's kind of a, and I can look right here to see how these two colors compare with each other. So I think that's a good shiny spot for coal. And I'm gonna use that. I want to have no outline. Okay, so now I go there. Now I'm going to move that. I'm going to copy it. So selection, finger on option, and give me my copy tool. Why should it be difficult? Option. I don't want that. I want it to go like, I want it to be copied. Why are you not copying? I don't want it to rotate. I want it to move. So I'm going to close. This can be trouble. There we go. That's what I want. And see, when it's small like this, you got to zoom in really close to get that little double arrow, which is a pain in the bootage. But yeah, there we go. Put one there. There. And shiny spot there. Okay, now I put Command minus, click away from it. Okay, that's good. Now we're going to make a carrot for the nose. So we're still in the shape tool. Let's drag over to polygon. And let me pick, okay, that's good. No outline. Now, you know, it might be fun. Watch this. I'm going to try. Okay, obviously I'm going to get some orange color. Okay. And let me, I'm going to give an orange outline too. And what I'm going to do is make the triangle right here. Well, first I'm going to click it just once. So that gives me my options. I just want 3 sides. Okay, and now I'm not gonna hold my finger on shift. I'm just gonna drag these points so I can change it. I don't want to do that. I want to, let me get out of the shape tool, get into the selection tool. Make a skinny little carrot. Now, I think what might be fun is, remember we had our dashed line? What if we have a dashed out line? And if the gap was it, I don't know, 5. And what if I rounded caps? Let me see how that looks. That's what I wanted. So it looks kind of carroty now. Make that thicker. That looks good. Now it looks like a carrot. Now let me, I'm gonna go direct selection tool. And I wanna pull this down to kind of round. That looks good. And now it looks like a carrot. So I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna go back to direct selection tool. Get a little bit pointy. That's good. Now I'm gonna go to direct selection tool. And I want to hold my finger down. Now remember, if we make it bigger or smaller, the dotted line stays the same, the outline stays the same. So I want to go to scale. And scale is something transform. Where's transform? And let me I want to scale path, not corners. Scale strokes and effects. Okay, scale strokes, that's good. So now I want to make it smaller. The whole width of the strokes is the same. So now I move it over here, and I'm gonna rotate it. Yeah, there's the, give you the rotate. There's his carrot. Zoom in close, zoom close. Let me go direct selection tool again. I think I want to round these corners too. So pull, I just want you, I don't want you. That's good. Okay, that's like a fun, funky little carrot. Kind of organic, looks a little bit rotten. Maybe I'll make it skinnier, I think. I'm wasting too much time with that. Okay, we got us a carrot. That's good. I should say also that, you know, I kind of got sidetracked making that carrot textured, but if we look at our layers here, and the carrot is on this layer. So if I just shut down this layer for a second, and then let's just say I wanted to make a more of a basic carrot. So go to the polygon tool. Let me just turn that off so there's no stroke. Click once, make a triangle. Okay, now go to selection tool and make it, I don't know, I'm gonna make it bigger, and then see, that is a much easier way to make a carrot. If you want to do, if you didn't want to deal with the fancy rough edges. And I'm going to zoom in a little closer. Again, if you wanted to blunt the edge, you hit direct selection tool, select that anchor point, and then use this little bullseye thing to, you know, take the sharpness out of it. And you could even do that to here. Gonna do that there. So if you want more of a, I don't know, play with your carrot. No, that doesn't sound right. So let me shut off that and just go back to this layer. Okay, so now we're going to give him some arms, and let's draw that, and let's use the brush tool to draw some stick arms for him. First of all, let's change the color. Let's make no fill and have our stroke be, I don't know, would brown be kind of crazy? Let's see. Okay, that looks, that's a, yeah, that's a good stick color. So now we're going to use the brush tool. Let me make this, bring this in a little closer. Again, hitting Command plus, and I want to shift. I put my finger on the space bar to get the hand, or I can just do that and get him up a little. Oh, I shouldn't call it a him because of them. They move them up the position. And now, what brush am I going to use? Brush lives back here. So this is, let me get that, make that bigger. I could use the charcoal. Well, actually, you know, I'm going to draw it first with the charcoal, and then we're going to see what happens. Why are you? Edit this out. I don't want to be just in this menu. Right? Okay, so okay, let's see. I think I want that little be a little. Well, you know, I'll draw it first, then I'll adjust it. So make that line there, that line there. No, it didn't match up. So first of all, I think that I want the line to be a little bit thicker. So I'm going to select both of those, and if I make the line thicker, it goes a little like that. Okay, that's good. But that I don't like that texture. So let me go back to my brushes. Okay, and what do I have to work with? Yeah, Is that stickier? That's more like calligraphy. Um, no, okay, it looks more like sticks. Okay, so I'll go with the calligraphy strokes. And I want to make some individual adjustments. So let me click away and let me click on this one first. I want to make that thicker. Okay. Actually, what I want to do also is like the thicker being over there. Then let me select this one. Put that. I don't want to make it do that. I want to get this one here. Select this. Okay, so now I'm going to select these. No, I don't want to select. I don't want to select everything. I selected too much. Select those guys, and I'm going to group them. Let me go over to these. These guys are okay. I'm just going to move this little stick is floating in space. And that looks good there. I'm going to group these objects as well. Let me move that there. And you know what? I want, it's like right now, both of these sticks are coming out of the front of the snowman. I think I want to move it behind the snowman. So I'm going to go Object, Arrange, and send this to the back, just so it looks. Actually, you know what? The buttons are curving right here, so I think I want to send this one to the back. Okay, that gives a little bit of a twist to their body. Okie dokie. And I think we need to give them give a mouth. Certainly make sure nothing is selected. Go to the brush tool. See a stick mouth, kind of a mouth, should I? Okay, looks kind of, or they look kind of impish there. So let's bring this. Now remember, Command plus zooms in, Command minus zooms out. Command 0 just gets it right there in the middle of the artboard. Now we're going to add a sky to the background. So let's just pick a nice blue sky color. Yeah, I think that looks nice. Midnight sky. And we're going to go to a rectangle tool. Make it like that. And that looks good, but we want it to be behind. So Object, Arrange, Send to the back. That's pretty cool there. Now I think it might be fun to, actually let me make it a little, I want you to play around with, let me make a row of hills back there. Let me pick this a little higher. And we could use the pen tool, but I just want to stick with the pens we've been using, so everything's going to have a straight line. Let me get, okay, click away from that. Click a new color. I want it to be a cooler blue, but darker than the snowman. Let's try that, and then make another. That's good. Let's send that back. Well, first we're going to send it all the way back, but then let's bring it forward a little bit. Okay. Now I want to make some shadows for the snowman. So let's go to the ellipse tool. Ellipse tool. Go 1, 2, 3. That's a snowman shadow. Okay, I want to select these shadows. And what I did, I selected the big bottom ball too. So I don't want to do that. So I put my finger on Shift, and I unselected that. Great. Now let me just group these guys. And there's the snowman shadow. And I'm going to send it to the back. And it's funny, with Object Arrange, you can send it, if you go send backwards, it just goes back once. But all these things are on on top of each other. So it may have gone just like behind. It didn't go behind everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to object, arrange, send to back, and that's fine. So I want you to play with your snowman, snow person. Play with different shapes. See what you can create. Try to be creative. Let me. I still want to. I'm obsessing on this nose here. Wait, let me see which am I on. See, I'm going to go. Yeah, make it skinny. Anyway, this is what I want you to do. Just add have fun. Maybe you want to add some little stars. So let's see if I want to. Oh, I gotta click out of this. Okay, now I want to get a new color, maybe some golden. What if I make it a little nice kind of yellow golden color? I go to my polygon tool, or rather my go to the star tool. I'm going to make some little stars. Look at that. So anyway, just customize your snowman. Take this opportunity to really learn about how these tools work and what you can do. So have some fun, and we'll take a look at our snowman. Oh, one last thing I forgot to say is to when you are done, file, you can, if you want to, you can save it as an, if you just hit save, it's going to save as an AI. Okay, that's very nice. Then you can re-edit it in Illustrator. But if you also file, when you're done, file. Okay, I did that too soon. If you go file, save as, you can save it as something else too. If you save it as a PDF, that way you can post it on Padlet and we can all look at each other's snow people.